All right, Carver. Hi, back here at the MGM Grand at the Boxing Media Center, getting ready for the big fight Saturday night. We got a lot going on here. In this hour, allegedly, we'll speak with our friend Jim Lampley of payperview.com. And then Tim Zhu. You remember his father, I believe, Katsa Zhu. And he was involved recently in a bloodbath fight. In his last fight, he took on this guy that was literally twice his size. The guy was like 6'7", and he elbowed him in the top of the skull, and his skull split open, and he gushed blood all over his face like Carrie, like the movie Carrie. My man had looked like he was at the running of the bulls in Pamplona after getting gorged and having people throw tomatoes at him. He was covered in blood. And that is literally, I'm just going to say this before he gets here this hour, the only reason I'm talking to him. I have no other goals at all in the interview other than to talk about having every single ounce of blood from his body drip out of his skull all over his face. And he lost the fight. But he said afterwards, when he was covered in blood, he said, I will fight anyone, anywhere, including a guy that's 3 feet taller than me.
That's what he's doing this fight? Is he fighting someone who's 3 feet taller than him? Is that what he's
No, he's not. He's not fighting. He's fighting in October. He's fighting next month, his next fight. But he's here doing the media rounds. And my friend Bruce Binkow, who's also a friend of yours, he has advised me that he is one of the toughest SOBs on the face of the earth and will take on any comer, anywhere, any day, anytime, last minute. It was the Thurman pulled out of that fight with an injury, and so they sucked Tim Sue into the vacuum, and he fought him, and then he had his head split open, and he bled profusely, and it was very violent.
Thurman's still fighting? I just got to say that.
One time Keith Thurman. Now, do you remember they invited me to that fight? Do you remember, Mafia? And I actually said that I was going to take a pass on that one. I said I'm good on flying 14 hours to watch one time Keith Thurman fight. I've seen him fight 10 times, and 10 times too many. No disrespect to him. I just have better things to do with my time than to watch one time fight again. Then the night he wasn't there, this kid showed up and was like, he was Carrie, I told you. He literally was covered in blood.
Unbelievable. So there you go. You'll get to talk to him later on in Lampley.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Right, let me get rid of a couple of these things.
Plus Canelo this hour.
Yes, Canelo this hour as well here on Coast to Coast. All right, let me get rid of a few of these things from today, and then I'll get you to the games for tonight. I want to play you Watson today because he spoke yesterday. Of course, not only has he been a bad human for a long time, he's been awful at quarterback too. He stunk last week for Cleveland in their loss to Dallas as they get ready to go to Jacksonville this week. But he was hit with another sexual assault lawsuit this week as well. Here he is, Scotty. Here's Deshaun. He knows absolutely nothing about any of these lawsuits, but his focus is going to stay on football.
Yeah, I mean, the statement is the response that, we talked about, and, everything that he put in that statement is exactly what, how I'm feeling and what we're going, through this process with. I focus on football. I focus on keeping the main thing, and that's when I walk into this building, focusing on being the best quarterback I can be on the game plan and trying to be better than we were last week so we can get a W. I'm not sure. Like I mentioned before, I found out this allegation and this foul exactly when everyone else found out. Found out through media, saw it popped up on my phone, and then I called my attorneys and asked them what it was.
Listen, can I just say about this guy, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter how many times he's been accused of sexual assault and all of his shenanigans at massage parlors. The fact of the matter is he has the Cleveland Browns by the onions. They owe him $260 million flush. They cannot get out of the deal. It's all guaranteed. it's like, what did we talk about? 100 million hit against the cap and another 80 million against dead money. Like they owe him so much money. It wouldn't matter if he literally slept with the vice president of the United States and then took hostages and literally had them underground in a tunnel for a month and didn't feed them and then shot all of them. The Browns would still owe him that money, and he would still be playing for the Browns. And what's worse is he's done all these things allegedly, whatever. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Who did he rape? Who did he not rape? You can't keep track of all of his problems. Meanwhile, his biggest problem is that he sucks now playing quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. That's his biggest problem because they have to play him, and he's awful.
Well, and listen, he's going to have all kinds of problems coming his way. Of course, this is from, I guess, this woman hired Tony Busby as well. We will be scheduling a meeting with the NFL and hope that all can be accomplished in the next 2 weeks. We have a video. We have 2 additional witnesses for the NFL to speak with. I've personally never had confidence in the NFL's disciplinary process, but my client has chosen to engage it. So they are going to have this woman meet with the NFL. And, there's a key word in there, Scotty, that was not involved with any of these other multiple, lawsuits that they had with him. Video. There's video as a key word in there. They got video of whatever with this. That's going to be a major issue.
Proverbial. Did they have someone in the closet the whole time filming?
Yeah, I don't know.
House
but
closet move?
No, not going to be a good scene for him.
They're saying that they can get out of guaranteed money if he never disclosed to them about his incidents. He's had so many incidents, and so many people accuse him of rape. Let's just call it what it is. Sexual assault is a really fancy word for rape, right? It's more of an extension of it. It's like a sister-in-law. Honestly, I don't understand it. All I know is, like, who in their right mind is going to go into a job and before they start the job tell their new prospective employers that are about to give them $260 million, hey, can I just give you a litany of some of the rapes I've committed? No one would do that. I mean, honestly, he's never going to admit to anything. This guy wouldn't admit to he hasn't even admitted he had a massage. This guy, you know what he is? He's like a politician. He lies so much. He believes his own lies. And he's terrible at quarterback. He looked awful last week. He looked awful. Like, he doesn't even look like a pro quarterback anymore.
Well, he will try to improve on that this Sunday in Jacksonville, where the Browns are getting 3 points against the Jaguars. And
they're going to need it.
They are going to need it. But the Jags, they blew that game in Miami too, Scotty. The game's in Jacksonville, but I think it could be an ugly game, especially with the way the Browns play.
Listen, I think I'll respect the Browns defense. I like Schwartz. I like the defense. I like what they have, Garrett, etc. Fair enough. But I'm sorry, right now we haven't seen anything from their offense. And Jacksonville had that game won in Miami. They blew it. So if they play remotely similar to what they did against the Dolphins at home in Jacksonville, they should be able to beat the Browns. The Browns offense looks terrible.
Browns offense does look terrible. All right, so there you go with Deshaun. All right, we'll try to get to a couple of other things later on. I've got Dable, I've got Joe Burrow, McCaffrey. Don't worry, if we don't get to them today, Scotty, we'll get to them tomorrow as we head into the big football weekend. We'll make sure we hit all of these. And we've got the baseball for tonight that we have to get to, along with the college football game down at Texas State. So a lot more to do here in the final hour on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, so there's 2 games tonight, right? There's that Northwestern State game as well.
Oh,
and
I forgot
you got the pro game. So I mean, there's 3 football games, and it's just baseball. It just never ends.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
Lincoln!
But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
He's the pride of Guadalajara, the Mexican maestro, the unified super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. His challenger, undefeated knockout artist and pride of Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. It's prime time.
Canelo versus Berlanga, plus Lara versus Garcia. Saturday live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
All right, Tim Sue is with us, the Australian boxer, and I was telling the story earlier. First of all, I'm Ferrall. It's good to see you, bro. I was talking to my buddy, Bruce Binka. I was supposed to be at that fight that night that Thurman was fighting in, right? And then you took his place in the fight, right? And I was supposed to be at the fight. I do a lot of fights, and I've been doing this for 35 years. I go to all the fights. I was supposed to be there that night. And then I didn't make it, and one thing led to another, and then you ended up fighting for one time, and you took on this guy, Fundora, and he was like, what was the guy, like 6'7"? How big was the guy?
Yeah, something like 6'6" or something like that.
He was absolutely towering over you.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at this, and when I saw it, I was like, what is happening here? Who put this together? And I thought to myself, man, the stones on this kid to fight this guy he literally was 3 feet taller than you.
Yeah.
It was the most unbelievable thing. And I thought to myself, the stones on this guy. And I said to my friend, who is this guy? And he said he was Katsusu's son. And I was like, Katsusu? I remember Katsusu. And I was like, I said, that's his kid fighting this lurch? And he was like, yeah. And then, so I'm watching the fight. One thing leads to another. And the next thing I know, you get shot in the head. And I think he took an elbow to the head.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, I said on the air earlier that you were literally, do you know the movie Carrie? The scary movie, the horror movie Carrie?
Right, yeah.
Remember the girl covered in blood on the stage at the prom? I was like, it's Carrie!
Yeah, it was a deadly type scene.
I have never seen, in the longest time, I have never seen that much blood on a fighter in an MMA or boxing in years. When you were in that ring and you were gushing blood all over your body and face, what was going through your mind?
That's the problem, I was focused more on this cut, the blood, rather than actually focusing on the fight. And the further the fight went, the more
it was bothering you.
Yeah, or the first initial part was what the hell's going on? Because as soon as it happened, I went like this, and I just remember it was just like a fountain,
a waterfall.
Yeah, it was like a fountain, a waterfall just coming through. So I didn't know how to react at the time, but looking back at it, it should have been just a little. Shouldn't have thought about it and just come.
What did your corner say to you? When you went to the corner and you were covered in blood, what did they say to you? Like, did they try to stop the fight? I wasn't there. I need to know what happened.
No, it was. If you watch the first 2 rounds, I felt in control. I was landing the cleanest shots.
Right.
I busted up his nose. I think I broke his nose in the first 2 rounds. Honestly, in my head, going into the second round, I was like, this ain't going past 4. I got this guy covered. This is sweet. This is easy work. In my mind,
you're gonna win.
I had him. I found the distance. I shut him off. And then when that happened, it sort of became like frustrating. I had to deal with this. It was more about
your eyes
going in the
eyes.
It's
like a windshield.
And blood isn't like water. It's sticky.
It's sticky.
It burns.
And it burns.
Yeah, it burns.
I was going to say, it has to burn like crazy and drive you nuts. Like you've seen it before. Like I've seen guys before, and you see them wiping it off because it burns so bad. It stinks. It's like the champagne in the locker room after a championship. It burns.
Yeah.
That's why they all wear goggles.
Yeah.
So it was driving you nuts. And so it like threw you off mentally from what your directive was. Your plan was working. You had busted him up. You had broke his nose. You knew that you could beat him.
Yep.
The size meant nothing to you. Now I know you've said before, like, I'm not afraid of this dude. I'm not afraid of anybody. I will fight anybody. He goes, listen, you need a fight in 5 minutes. Here's my number. I'll be there. How do I get to the fight? Like, I'll fight anybody.
I'm the man.
You're the guy. To call.
I'm the guy.
Like, you're the guy I would have sent into Vietnam. We need to burn the village. Send Tim Su. He'll do it.
You know it.
We need Tim. So you did exactly what you've always said you do. I'll fight anybody. I don't care who you put in front of me. They put this giant lurch in front of you, and then you're bleeding like the Exxon Valdez spilling oil into the ocean, and your eyes are burning. And then at the end of the day, you lost, and you should have won the fight. You thought you had him right where you wanted him.
It is what it is, and a good learning experience.
But no big deal. You're like, whatever, it's just another fight.
It is what it is, and we move on to the next.
And the next one is in Florida next month.
Yeah,
and it's on Prime, free Prime.
Free Prime. First one to do it as well.
First one on Prime that's a free fight.
Yeah.
Now, who is this guy you're fighting? Oh, here it is. It's at the Reeb Royal Resort in Orlando.
Yeah, Bakram Murtalayev.
How do you pronounce that name?
Bakram Murtalayev.
You can't even pronounce his name. I failed school that day. Bakram Murtalayev is how I would call it. Murtalayev.
Yeah,
Murtalayev?
I don't know. That's how I call it.
Murt's a liar. He's a liar is what you're telling me. Saturday, October 9th, Tim is fighting a liar, and no one can pronounce his name right. Can you imagine being the guy having to call the fight? How's your dad doing?
Yeah, Dad's well. We actually went and trained in Thailand together for a couple of weeks, and it was a good experience.
Your dad was a hell of a fighter. How much did he rub off on you? Everything?
Look, when you come from a military background, it's a different environment.
He's an animal.
Yeah, it's a different environment to live in. So it's sort of built into us, and then that's who we are now these days.
Well, man, I've never seen anything like it, and I know that all the guys that run PBC. All the big shots, Al Heyman, Bruce Binkout, they're fans of yours.
Well, that means a lot.
Well, they think very highly of you, and those are the right people to be friends with.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I'm here. I'm friends with those people. Hey, good luck in Orlando.
I appreciate it, man.
And I'm really proud of you, and it's great to meet you. And I've never seen anything like it, what you went through. You're a badass. Keep doing your thing. I love the fact that you're not literally, this might be the first guy that I've ever sat with that is truly not afraid of anyone. I mean, I think this guy he'd fight anyone. He'd literally fight an elephant. If they asked him to fight an elephant, he would fight an elephant.
The lion.
And he might win. A lion. He just said he's going to fight the MGM lion. Hey, great job, Tim.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Well, Carver High, I thought you'd enjoy this. I had a chance to catch up with the champ. Here he is in all his glory, Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, my man. Hey, so first of all, how's your golf game?
Right now, not that good because I have 4 or 5 months no practice.
What's the problem? You love playing. You got to get out there.
Yeah, I know. I need to work my business, boxing.
So, like, when you're done winning Saturday, are you going to play Sunday?
Yeah, of course.
You got a nice tea time here in Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah, with my friends. Yeah.
I cannot fathom how many of your fights I've been to over the years, going all the way back, and then even the Mayweather fight. I was at that when you were a young guy.
Yeah.
I can't fathom what you've been through and how many fights you've been through and how many people you've kicked their ass. It really is. It's been fun for me. It's been a pleasure for me to watch you destroy people over your career. From belly to belly, I've watched you fight. You're the best, man.
No, thank you. Thank you, my friend. It's my pleasure to be in this sport. I love what I do, and thank you.
Do you get sick of having to do 50 million interviews of people asking you the same questions? I would lose my mind. I'd have to start drinking tequila.
No, look, at the beginning of my career, yes, you it's something new for you, but then you realize it's work, and you need to respect the people like you come and have a time for me to put my show and everywhere. So I respect that, and in the same way, I need to do it.
When you got a big family and kids and daddy this, daddy that, and you have to deal with everything all at once. I remember when you were young and you didn't have all that pressure. Yeah. There's so much more pressure with the more fame you get, the more fights, the more belts you win, the more money you make. It all gets crazy. How have you been able to not lose your mind?
I always think that it's always time for everything, When it's time to train, I go my training camp. I say to my wife, I go for 2 months, but I always there and everything. But you know, it's always time for everything. When I'm finished the fight, I go on vacation with them. I enjoy my family. I give my time, my quality time, not just time, my quality time to them. And I think you need to know it's always time for everything.
How great is it a feeling to know, like I watched Julio Cesar Chavez his whole career. He was unbelievable. That you've taken your career to heights above that in Mexico and all over the world. How does it make you feel that you've surpassed that and that you lived up to that and then some? It's got to be a trip for you to have done what you've done. I mean, it freaks me out because I remember watching when you were a young kid fighting and you didn't know what you were doing yet. But now you're so savvy and so good at knowing what you're doing. I feel sorry for this dude Saturday night because I've seen him, I've heard him talk, and I've been promoting the fight back in New York, and I say, he has no idea what's about to happen to him.
Yeah, I agree.
He has no idea what's about to happen.
And I want it. I still want it because I love what I do, and I still enjoy all of this. And I'm just glad to be here.
Listen, you've been brilliant. You've gotten so much better over the years fighting. I love watching you destroy people. It's an honor to have been a fan and a sportscaster around your career. Good luck Saturday. It's great to see you and me, and I appreciate all you've done for boxing and for your family. Keep doing your thing. You're a hero in Mexico and here, too, in Vegas.
Thank you, my friend.
My man, Canelo. Go get your thing Saturday. There he is, Canelo Alvarez, setting the standard. Poor Berlanga, the beatdown he's in for Saturday night at the T-Mobile Arena. I'm scared to death of this guy. Honestly, Carver High, I mean, it's your boy Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, it's nice that he made it over to the set. That's good. I'm glad that you were able to grab Canelo earlier. He's looking good.
Right.
He's looking like he's ready to rock here this weekend against Berlanga. And look, most of the opponents like this, you just said it with him, he takes care of business. And that's what I think a lot of people are expecting him to do on Saturday night.
He's a little different than Marcus Freeman and the Irish handling their business when they're supposed to. This guy takes on a guy like this and he finishes him. That's what he does. He's like, this is short work.
Yeah, he does not. They do not take care of business. I don't think they're going to have a problem in Purdue, I feel like, on Saturday too. Or maybe they'll be refocused after losing to Northern Illinois.
Jeez, I sure hope so.
Some big effort.
That would be embarrassing.
After losing, it certainly would.
They can't lose back-to-back games. Honestly, their season would be over. Some people think it's over already.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do. He's the pride of Guadalajara, the Mexican maestro, the unified super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. His challenger, undefeated knockout artist and pride of Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. It's prime time.
Canelo versus Berlanga, plus Lara versus Garcia. Saturday live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
So on Saturday night here, the 14th, celebrating Mexican Independence Weekend with a stacked PBC pay-per-view event, pound for pound grade, and Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez puts his unified WBC, WBA, WBO super middleweight world titles on the line against undefeated WBA number one ranked mandatory contender Edgar the Chosen One Berlanga from Brooklyn. The stacked fight card features Cuban star and reigning WBA middleweight world champ Arislandi Lara, the American Dream, taking on hard-hitting two-division world champ and Puerto Rican star Danny Swift for Philadelphia Garcia in a 12-round showdown between two of this era's most accomplished fighters. Plus, former super middleweight world champ Sweet Hands Caleb Plant taking on undefeated contender Trevor McCumbee for the interim WBA super middleweight title, while the former 140-pound world champ Rolando Raleigh, or as he tells me, now Rolly Romero, steps into the ring against the hard-hitting Manuel Jaimes in a 10-round bout opening the pay-per-view at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The stacked lineup features 6 current or former world champs. You can order on pay-per-view on Prime Video regardless of your membership. Fans can also see it on pay-per-view via DAZN.com and, of course, pay-per-view.com and traditional cable and satellite outlets, of course, from pay-per-view.com, ppv.com. The greatest boxing announcer ever, my friend Jim Lampley, is back on SportsGrid with us on Ferrall Coast to Coast. Always my favorite interview every time I'm at the fights. I want to break it down with you today, Jim. I was talking to Canelo, and I talked to Berlanga, and, I want to know what you think, because I think the poor kid's in for a rough evening.
Well, I think almost every expert person in this room leans toward your point of view because of the style matchup. I mean, Berlanga is a straight-ahead power puncher. So it appears that his biggest chance to win the fight, beat Canelo, is try to hunt him down and nail him with a big shot and score a knockout. He's accustomed to knockouts himself. He began his career with a near record 16 consecutive first-round knockouts. It's an inevitable part of the media relationship to boxing that you score 16 first-round knockouts in a row at the beginning of your career, and the vast majority of ringside reporters are going to say, oh, that's matchmaking. That's not real. And so now he's into the stage of his career where he's trying to prove that he's real. But is he real enough to be a serious contender against the best and most sophisticated fighter of the era? Doesn't look that way. And most particularly because if you were to size up, all right, what's the best way to beat Canelo? It certainly isn't to try to hunt him down and knock him out with a power punch. Canelo has the best punch resistance in the sport, proven over and over. We call it a chin, and he does have indeed a fabulous chin, but it's also his natural lower body strength from years and years of horseback riding in addition to his boxing training. I've never seen him knocked off balance.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he has tremendous advantages in that regard. Great hand skills. He's a power puncher who is a natural counter puncher by background and nature, etc. All the advantages here belong to Canelo Alvarez.
Just his violent body shots are just they're unbelievable. Do you think that the Cuban and Lara and Danny, who hasn't been in the ring for 2 years, I would expect violence in that fight. I always liked Danny Garcia. I've seen him have a lot of big fights.
Well, Arislandi Lara has made a transition well into his career. I don't want to necessarily say late in his career. I don't think he sees it that way. But not often do you see a guy who's seen as a pure counterpuncher boxer, kind of a cutie, suddenly show up late in his career knocking people out with vicious power shots. That's what's happened with Arislandi Lara. And I don't know when I've ever seen that before. So it's very intriguing to watch him. Danny Garcia, professional fighter, deep background, a lot of big fights back when I was calling his career progress on HBO. That's been a while. And based on just recent activity and the amount of time that they have recently spent in the ring against top-notch opponents, I think you have to favor Lara in that fight.
Right. I mean, he hasn't.
Not to mention he's a southpaw.
Yeah, and he hasn't fought. I said to him, I sat here with him, and I said, yeah, it's been 2 years since you fought. Like, what happened there? And I think he tried to tell me it was about Showtime and everything else, and I wasn't having it. Caleb Plant, I've seen him fight some violent fights. He has lost twice, but look who he lost to, Benavidez and Canelo. I mean, my man will fight anybody, and here he is with McCumbee. What do you think of this one?
Well, Caleb's a natural-born power counterpuncher. He is very fan-friendly, fun-to-watch fighter. He's had some big wins, but at the end of the day, you're right. When he fought Canelo and when he fought Benavidez, he came up short. I make him a big favorite against McCumbee, but I'll be honest and tell you, I haven't even seen any video of McCumbee. I can't tell you the style in which he fights. I know that Caleb Plant is more experienced, more familiar to a wide audience, and he's a skilled fighter, and he has incentives still on the table because if he can win this fight, there's somewhere down the road where he might gather a rematch with either Canelo or Benavidez.
Why won't they get those two in the ring together, Canelo and Benavidez? We've been hearing about it. We've been talking about it. Everyone asks about it. It never happens.
Well, when you have succeeded the way Canelo has, and you've reached the status that he occupies in the sport, it's traditional. It's kind of written in stone into the way the sport operates that Canelo gets to do what Canelo wants to do. Yeah. And as long as he's providing something that looks like meaningful competition and taking on opponents who are qualified, then he doesn't necessarily have to fight Benavidez until the audience really steps up and puts his feet to the fire. Will it happen? It's hard for me to imagine that both of them spend another 3-4 years in the sport and it doesn't happen. But it's going to happen on Canelo's timetable, when he wants to do it and how he wants to do it.
How do you think Raleigh will look? You think he told me it's Rolly, and it's Rolly. We saw him his last fight lose. Do you think he gets back into winning?
If he says Rolly, then I'll call him Rolly. His last fight was against a nonstop, come forward, pile driving attacker who was dead set on entertaining the audience that night, had a big night. Rolly insists that he's going to bounce back and provide a win. I think he will fight well and put on a good show.
All right, so, of course, the legendary Jim Lampley will be co-hosting the exclusive viewer chat in real time throughout Saturday's HD live stream at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on payperview.com,
PPV.com.
PPV.com, where no subscription is required. You did it at the Tank fight. You're doing it at this fight. Are you having fun doing it?
Yeah, it's a new medium of communication. I love that. It's a way for me to communicate with the audience, not for you, because you wouldn't be able to employ your signature voice. But I'm typing text into a computer, as are Algieri, Chris Algieri, Dan Canobio, Lance Pugmire, all four of us. exchanging chat comments throughout the fight, and viewers get to click in, join us, and be a part of the conversation.
My man.
So it's a whole communal way of communicating about fight.
I'm loving that. Jim Lampley,
Yeah, you love it.
everybody. Thanks.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoff.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
I did want to say, again, that Jim Lampley's on ppv.com, and if I didn't get that right, he had threatened to break my nose. He actually said he was going to break my nose after that. Was someone giving you the business there, Mafia, behind me, or what was happening there?
Seemed like it. Might have been another Titan fan that was yelling at Mafia. He heard you talking about him being a Jet fan before with Caleb Bland. So we wanted to make sure he let him know behind you. As he was
Is there anything worse than people that do drive-bys on people's live TV shots?
You can tell. You can always tell when it's a first timer. You know what I mean? First time they're in a place like that. You know, like you've obviously never been in a room with 500 television cameras in it before. I got to go and jump around behind the camera at every single moment. I mean, honestly,
Loser.
like you need a pass to get in there. Can you act like you've been there before? I mean, seriously.
Really, like Mafia. Hey, go handle your business, Mafia. It's been a while since I've seen you nightstick someone. Can you just go handle your business? Mafia's he's literally right now cracking his knuckles. He's literally gonna hurt someone.
I'm running out of real estate here. I'm running out of runway to get all this stuff in. Let's go. We have games tonight in Major League Baseball. 5 games for you. We'll start in D.C. where the Fish and the Nats get together. Of course, both of them playing out the string. Mitchell, Parker Lewis can't lose against Darren McConnell. Minus 185 for the Nats, plus $1.55 for the Fish, and an 8.5.
The Marlins are so awful. I got to go Nats here in D.C. with your boy Parker.
Parker Lewis can't lose.
Even the Pirates swept the Marlins. Everyone beats the Marlins.
That's not good when the Pirates take you out for a few games. That's never good. The Rays are in Cleveland, start of a 4-game series against the Guardians. Gavin Williams goes tonight. The Guardians are minus $150 plus 125 for the Rays and a 7.5.
The Rays just got swept, so they're already mailing it in. Give me the Guards at home and your boy Williams on the bump.
Red Sox and the Yankees, we talked about this a little bit earlier. They start 4 games in the Bronx tonight. Very crucial for the Yankees here. Cooper Criswell for Boston. Nasty Nestor Cortez, not so nasty anymore, goes for the Yanks, who are minus 200. Plus 165 for Boston and an 8.5. You know, that's a little too much lumber for me, Scotty, with the way the Red Sox have played the Yankees this year. That's a little too much lumber.
Well, the thing that's interesting about it for me is that Nasty has finally started opening up his mouth about his disapproval of some of the decision-making of one Aaron Boone of late. And he's actually had some decent outings. And he's pitched decent a couple times here and there. But then when they were going to move him to the bullpen or something, he started complaining about, I don't know what they're doing up there, I guess in the front office. But how about Nasty, like, taking on the brass? Well, I would say, I got to go Yankees. And I'd say the only way to bet it is run line at plus $1.05.
Well, let me tell you this, though. Obviously, these guys on Boston, they destroy Cortez. Devers, 4 for 15 with 2 homers. Refsnyder, 8 for 16. Romy Gonzalez, 4 for 5 with a homer. Story's homered off of them. I mean, all
I take it back then. Give me the
all
over.
These guys all destroy Cortez. So maybe we can get ourselves a lot of runs tonight there in the Bronx.
Well, Texas, then take the Red Sox at plus $1.75 in the over. Well, you just told me it was Murderer's Row.
They got some good numbers against Cortez. They got some real good numbers against him. Rangers are in Seattle against the Mariners. Bryce Miller starts for Seattle, and the Major League debut, Scotty, of Kumar Rocker for Texas. Of course, you remember him from a couple years ago at Vanderbilt. Minus 145 for Seattle, plus $1.20 for Texas, and a 6.5 tonight in this game.
How did he take this long to get up to the show? Kumar Rocker. Christ, I remember when he was the talk of baseball, right? And now he's...
Remember when the Mets took him and they never signed him? The Mets drafted him, and then they let him go. He went back in the draft, and Texas took him. So, he had some injury issues, but now he's back. You like him tonight?
Well, no. I like Miller and Seattle in Seattle. It's not that juicy. It's not Baconator juicy, but at a minus $1.45 clip, I can live with that. I got to go Seattle.
And finally, the Brewers are in San Francisco tonight against the Giants. Frankie Montas against Hayden Birdsong here tonight. Minus 135 for the Brewers, plus $1.15 for the Giants, and a 7.5.
God, I mean, it's brutal. I'd still bet the Brewers here. I just think I know the Giants, didn't they beat them last night? I can't keep track of it, but I'm still going to go Montas here in the Brewers in Oracle.
Well, the Giants smashed them early last night. They destroyed Colin Rea last night, very early in that game, and Snell pitched for the Giants. So there you go. Just a few games in baseball. I will tell you quickly, I'm on Cal Raleigh tonight. I'm on Willie Adames tonight. I am on Rafael Devers tonight, and I am on Jose Ramirez for homers tonight. So there you go.
Taters. Those are some fantastic taters.
But we do have a few guys that we are going to go after. Okay, we have one college football game of significance. I know there's 2 on the board. And if you do have, Scotty, a selection in the big Northwestern State, South Alabama contest.
I did.
What do you got in that then? I'll save Texas State and Arizona State for after the break. What do you got?
I took Northwestern State with the 36 and a hook. I got it this morning, so I bet that, and then I bet the over. I got it at over 60. I got a bucket load of points in one, and I need a bucket load of points in the other.
36.5 for them tonight. I'll give you the full numbers on Arizona State and Texas State when we come back, and then I will also go through a few other news items for you. in terms of some leftovers. I guess we can call just about everything leftovers today, but I do have some things for you. You know what? In leftovers, we'll talk about the Pac-12 thing because we have not talked about that yet with them adding these teams back in.
They still have to add 2 other teams. Like, this will make 6. They need 8 for it to legitimately be a conference.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Yeah, Carver High. I know you're going to get to all these games. I'm seeing lawmakers are proposing new federal regulations on sports betting. Sounds like they're getting frustrated with all the people that are making rogue bets and that are threatening athletes and sending death threats and everything else, right?
Well, that goes to, I know you had a story in there today about that awful quarterback for Auburn, Peyton Thorne, who I guess was getting people were asking him for their money back, I guess, on his Venmo app or whatever. People are asking Peyton Thorne for their money back after they're losing their bets.
Right. Yeah,
there's a lot of problems. Yeah, so asking the kid. He's like, I'm getting asked for money on Venmo. Venmo me money for losing my bet. Not a good scene at all for them, that's for sure. All right, Arizona State and Texas State tonight. It's 2.5 for the Bobcats of Texas State, who are one of these teams that has a chance maybe to get that group of 5 berth. They're going to be very good in the Sun Belt this year, and they're favored tonight, Scott. Now, that tells me I like Texas State, honestly. Like, Arizona State's coming off 2 big wins. They just beat Mississippi State. I know they're going on the road, but I'm going to lay to 2.5 here with the Bobcats. I think they got it tonight at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I bet the over. I got it. The number's gone down to 58.5. I got it at 60. I wish I had it at 58.5, but it has moved a little bit.
It has indeed. So a couple of 2-0 teams there. We have some games tomorrow night. We'll discuss those tomorrow here on Coast to Coast. All right, the Pac-12 has gotten back, or shall we say they're coming back, Scotty. Obviously, Oregon State and Washington State are there, making it official today. Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State. So 4 teams out of the Mountain West into the Pac-12, which now has 6. Of course, the race is on now for them to get more members, Scotty, and I've seen several names get thrown around here today. UNLV is one of those names that's been thrown around, which me and you have said for a long time. If the Pac-12 was going to get back together, Vegas being a market in that conference would be very viable now, especially with UNLV playing their home games over there at Allegiant. So look for them. But the interesting thing was Cal and Stanford. Now, they just went to the ACC this year, Scotty, and people are talking about this. So there's been some stories with it, but there's also been some with people saying, look, you got to understand, they just signed with the ACC. They are tied there through 2036. Right. The only thing that would bring them back is if all this talk of the ACC bottoming out and crumbling would be the thing that would allow them to get back to the West Coast, which is where they belong anyway.
Well, now look, I would agree with you. I think that they should be in the Pac-12. They should have never disintegrated the Pac-12. I think it was a horrible decision to begin with. I thought it was bad for business, bad for college football, bad for college sports, and there's no reason for those 2 schools to be in the ACC. In fact, they fit like a red-headed stepchild. All I know is, but you're right, they're tied in. They made a commitment. They left. They chose their path. They made their bed. They got a lie in it. I agree with you on UNLV. I think that would make sense. I don't know who the other team would be. There has to be 2. I don't see how
I've heard
Cal and Stanford can just do whatever they want. Memphis, here's another team that, that makes no sense to me, bearing on, where they are. All these, what are you going to have? All these teams from the West Coast that play Pac-12 football, they're going to fly to Memphis to, go to Graceland? Stay where you are. They are not the fit. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that. But I actually like the 4 that did it. And I think your UNLV idea is palpable. I think that there's got to be another option that's smarter, that's in the West Coast. There just has to be.
Well, I think you're right, because if you don't get, let's say, somehow, some way, which it's going to be very hard to do, Cal and Stanford back, you're really just the Mountain West, right, with a new name. I mean, that's really all that they're going to be. And I've also seen that maybe they would make a push for basketball only to get Gonzaga into the Pac-12 out there, which would be huge for them from a basketball perspective.
Yeah, they don't play football, do they? So
they do not. They do not play football at Gonzaga. Tomorrow you'll be back there, and I'm going to get through all the games for the weekend, all the NFL, all the college. We'll do everything tomorrow while you're there also.
How are we gonna top this show today? We've interviewed everyone in boxing today, including Canelo Alvarez. What is left? I have no idea. It's up to Mafia. Good luck, Mafia. Great show, Carver High. Good night from Las Vegas.
Porzingis, you got Holiday, you got Derek White, you got literally, I would say 5 guys can get you 20 points in a game?
I know people will say it's, only one guy. I don't believe that, Coach, that, one guy, those days are over, in my opinion, like, a Bill Russell, a Wilt Chamberlain.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You're going a little deep bomb hunting here. We don't care that we have the one heavy favorite with Rory, a couple other guys like Fleetwood and Tagala, etc. You're going to go a little deeper down the board.
This course, I think, is going to play a little bit more to the wedges. They have, what they did is they've renovated it to basically block off some of the bombing alleys for these guys. They've narrowed the fairways.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole is getting ready to come back too. I guess look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. It's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.